next video, I'm going to teach you how to perform a backstitch. Now the backstitch is very similar to the straight stitch, it just looks a little bit different and it's more secure than a straight stitch. So first you're going to start by pushing your needle through the back of your felt so that your knot will be housed and hidden on the underside of your project. You're going to go forward on the front to start the stitch. See how it's nice and straight? And now when I go to the back, be sure that you pull all of your threads all the way through so that you don't have any slack. You're going to go forward where you imagine this next stitch is going to be. You see how they're evenly spaced? 1, 1, 2, and then 3. Push it back to the front. Pull your needle all the way through so that you do not have any loose threads. And now for the back stitch, here's where it's going to transition to a back stitch. If I were to keep going straight to here, this would just be a regular straight stitch. But for the back stitch, I'm going to go back on the top through the first stitch, and then when I go back to the bottom, I'm going to go forward and imagine that that next stitch is going to be there. So I'm going to come up a little bit further on the stitch, and then I'm just going to go back through the previous stitch that I had made. And for a back stitch, it comes with practice, so you see how this one was slightly off. It takes some practice to get them nice and straight. So for this, I literally chant to myself. Forward on the bottom, back on top. And you want to pull fairly slowly because if you go too fast, your threads can get knotted. Forward on the bottom, back on top. Forward on the bottom, back on top, forward on the bottom, back on top. Now, and that is how you achieve a back stitch. And the characteristic of the back stitch, you know you did it right when on the back of your project, it looks like it kind of loops and circles over itself. So I'll do one more. So forward on the bottom, back on top, and you see that it created another round of the circle. So to tie off a blanket stitch, you're going to do it just like your other stitches. You can go through the 1 or 2 of the last few stitches if they're close together. And before that bubble closes, just like all stitches, pull through that bubble and create your first tree. Go under it again, create the second to secure your knot. At which point you'll just go back with your pair of scissors, snip your thread. You can go to your first knot and snip that thread, and you have obtained a back stitch.